We're taking the slow boat to Luang Prabang in Laos. Boat company picked us up from our hotel this morning and helped us cross the border into Laos. Just arrived at the dock here, about to board our boat. It's low season at the moment, so there's hardly any passengers. It's an enormous boat and very plush inside. It'll take us a couple of days to get there, so I'm very pleased it's so comfortable. And we're off. This is still Thailand on the right-hand side of the boat at the moment. And this is Laos on the other side. In about an hour it'll be Laos on both sides of the boat as the Mekong winds away from the Thai border. We're making a quick stop today to have a look around a Khong village. Khong, one of the indigenous groups here in Laos, actually in northern Thailand as well. It's quite a traditional village and it is very poor. Houses just have one room inside for the whole family. Families tend to be quite large. As soon as girls hit puberty, they're encouraged to marry and have a family. We've just passed a 15-year-old girl with her baby. This is the village shop and we're encouraged just to buy some treats for the kids.
Which one do you want? Green or red? Okay. No, this one. Yeah, sorry.
Although opium production is obviously illegal, a few people here still do grow it. You can tell because they're buying these very expensive cows. They cost about £5,000 each. They're fighting cows, so it's all for gambling. There's 4 or 5 of these cows in the village that we've seen. There is a primary school in the village, but the nearest secondary school is 2 hours away, and typically it's only boys who get to go to secondary school. This is another one of those fighting cows. This river also provides drinking water for the village for a lot of the year. See, they have to boil it first. Of course, that village was also a very patriarchal village. Many of the men have more than one wife. And as it's a subsistence economy, there's not much freedom either. It actually feels very remote and cut off from anywhere else, despite being on the river. These people are panning for gold. This little jetty marks our stop for the night. There's a few hotels here in a little town. So we'll break and then head off again first thing in the morning. It's a very nice hotel. Lovely views out. Great place to stop for the night.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Beers on the banks of the Mekong again.
So we've set off this morning and quite quickly we've noticed the air quality has really deteriorated and it wasn't brilliant before. But round here they're practicing slash and burn agriculture. They just set fire to the forest and then leave it apparently. As soon as the rainy season starts, they'll plant rice seeds. 70 or 80% of the agricultural output from Laos is rice. I really don't fancy cycling through this, it really is choking. It's set to continue for a while yet. There's been a few sections of the river like this, sort of small rapids. The water's pretty shallow and turbulent. You can feel the boat hitting the bottom a little bit. We're taking a short stop here to have a look at this cave cum temple. Apparently it's full of Buddha statues. A lot of them put here for safekeeping during the Vietnam War when Laos was bombed really very heavily. We're getting a nice breeze on this boat, but my goodness me, it's hot. Must be close on 40 and has been since late morning. Even sitting completely still is still quite sweaty. We're going to be making one more stop this afternoon, and that's at a village that makes the local rice whiskey. Women also weave a lot of garments in this village. Whiskey is made from sticky rice, which is fermented and then boiled and filtered in this system here.
What do you think of this one then, Ben?
Good. Matcha.
That's the 50% one. Too much for me. Strong.
And how much are they?
The whiskey we tried didn't have any dead animals in, but most of the bottles do. This is a big draw for the Chinese tourists, of which there are plenty. Weaving is the other big occupation in this village, and the women dye all the cotton by hand using natural dyes. See them hanging up to dry here. And mainly weaving shawls for the tourist market. Kids have just been let out of school, just having a little wander around. See, this boy here is washing his cockerel. It's for fighting, again for gambling on cockfights. They're building a hydroelectric dam up ahead. Hydroelectric power is big business in Laos. It's almost 15% of GDP. Over 2/3 of Laos' electricity is exported to Thailand. It's an extremely corrupt industry in Laos. We're close to Luang Prabang now. The port's actually about 5 miles outside of town, so we'll just cycle in from there. It's been such an interesting trip, really relaxing too, of course. All in all, a fantastic way to travel down the Mekong River. Seems really quiet and undeveloped for the main port in Luang Prabang, which is, after all, Laos' second city and the old capital. It wasn't until 1975 that Vientiane became the capital of Laos. Of course, we have to remember to cycle on the right-hand side of the road again. Starting to get a little bit more built up now. Still surprisingly quite rural, given that we're only a couple of miles away from the city centre. This bridge up ahead takes us into the old town. Old town's on the banks of the Mekong, whereas the river we're crossing here is called the Nam Cam River. So we're officially in the old town now, and our hotel's not very far from here. I'm just navigating the one-way system. Our hotel's just around the corner. I think we'll make it in time for sundowners tonight. Good, here we are. The La Nuit de Laos.
Cheers, cheers, cheers!
Cheers, we made it to Laos.
Luang Prabang. And this is the night market.